new report found that nearly 500,000 young Canadians were unemployed in 2025. That's a 57% increase in 3 years, and that's worse than the recessions of 1981, 1990, and 2008 for young people. Liberals ran over $1 trillion debt.
Unbelievable.
And they priced Canadians out of the housing market, the highest housing costs in the G7, and then loosened the foreign work restrictions and flooded the labour market. A decade of their support, and somehow every single door is closed for young Canadians. How is it that this government is locking young Canadians out of both the housing market and the labour market at the same time?
Unbelievable.
The Honourable Secretary of State for Labour.
Speaker, Canada's new government is fiscally responsible. We've reduced the deficit by $11 billion. We're in the strongest fiscal percentage of the G7.
Wow.
Mr. Speaker, we're making investment in major infrastructure investments that are transform and connect our economy.
Amazing.
Our workers know this, Mr. Speaker. Let's hear from our workers. Let's hear from the UA that's in that member's riding. This update delivers investments to expand training and a multitude of apprenticeship needs. It will increase youth, Indigenous and diverse participation in the trades for upcoming projects of national interest. Mr. Speaker, that's how you build a Canada strong for all.
Honourable member for Thornhill.
Despite all of that rhetoric, despite the $1 trillion in Liberal debt, young Canadians now make up over a quarter of all unemployed workers. That's double their share of the workforce, and they still can't afford a home. They still can't afford groceries, and they still can't afford to get ahead.
Right.
They are borrowing record billions on the national credit card to stimulate the same economy that they are cooling with record immigration, and they handed the bill to Canadians for all of it. At what point does any Liberal take responsibility for an entire generation that is priced out, crowded out, and left holding the bag for their incompetence?
The Honourable Secretary of State.
Again, this new government is fiscally responsible. We reduced the debt by $11 billion, the deficit by $11 billion, and we are in the strongest fiscal position in the G7. Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives, though, can't stand up and say they support Canadians while voting against all the supports that Canadians rely on, including youth. Mr. Speaker, they oppose tax relief, they oppose child care, they oppose dental care, the school food program, and national school food program. Who could be against that? So, Mr. Speaker, my question is, you can't oppose all of that, then claim you support it. You cannot have it both ways. So my question, Mr. Speaker, is when will they table their list of inflationary spending that they're going to cut?
The Honourable member for Oshawa.
Mr. Speaker, young Canadians are working hard, getting an education and trying to build a future. But after 11 years of costly Liberal policies, they are still struggling to find good jobs. Fraser Institute reports youth unemployment has surged to almost 19%, with young Canadians unemployed longer than at any point since the records began. When will this Prime Minister stop being just another costly Liberal and end his credit card budgeting so young people in Oshawa and across Canada can afford to work, eat, and get ahead?
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Honourable member, the Honourable Minister for Housing and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, I had the honour of being at BCIT, the BC Institute of Technology, earlier this week to talk about 100,000 jobs for young Canadians building homes and infrastructure. And the members opposite have an opportunity to support the spring economic update that dedicates $6 billion for training young Canadians to be part of our economy and to build the affordable housing that we need to house the young Canadians. Mr. Speaker, it's a great opportunity for us to build Canada strong. Thank you.
Honourable member for Oshawa.
Mr. Speaker, when will these Liberals realize that they keep having to create these support programs because they created the crisis in the first place? And get this, even with these programs, young people are still worse off than ever before. So clearly, they don't work. Under this Prime Minister, Canadians are seeing the same old Liberal agenda we saw under Justin Trudeau, only worse, with more costs, more taxes, more debt, more on the national credit card, more of the same. Why are Liberals forcing young Canadians to pay the price for their failures?
Well said.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Finance.
Speaker, I understand the member opposite's concern for our youth, and I empathize with our youth, but
What I can't understand is how that member from Oshawa can go and visit Ontario Power Generation and see the jobs that are being created in our region with the new nuclear project at Darlington. That's 21,700 jobs and a $2 billion investment through this government's efforts that she voted against. How can she stand here and lecture us about youth jobs in our region and our country and vote against the very supports that are creating good, skilled, trained jobs across our region?
The honourable member for Richmond Hill South.
After a decade of costly Liberal credit card budgeting, young Canadians are facing more costs, more taxes, more debt, more of the national credit card, and more of the same. This Prime Minister is just another costly Liberal who has surged youth unemployment beyond recessionary levels. Since 2022, youth unemployment has surged from 12.3% to 18.9%, and young Canadians are remaining unemployed longer than at any point since records began in 1976. Liberal labour and immigration policies are driving up the cost of rent, groceries, and homes for young Canadians. When will this Liberal Prime Minister end his costly credit card budgeting so young Canadians can afford to eat, work, and live?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Industry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Our plan is investing in jobs and is supporting those private sector innovators that are bringing jobs, including to places like York Region in the members region, where AMD has a major facility there where they're centralizing their innovation supports in York Region, in Markham, bringing thousands of jobs. I recently visited the University of Toronto's Masters of Applied Science and Computer Science program, and every single one of those graduates now has a job in that program. It's because of the work that our government is doing, supporting the post-secondary system, supporting not only the industrial side, but the technology side. We're very proud of our record.
The honourable member for Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan.
Mr. Speaker, objectively, their so-called plan is simply not working. Conditions are extremely difficult in this country for youth and for young families. The Liberals' $1 trillion of debt means less growth and fewer jobs, especially for those just starting out. Credit card budgeting, high taxes, poor immigration policy, these have all contributed. We see more costs, more taxes, more debt, more on the national credit card, more of the same. This Prime Minister is just another costly Liberal with no results to show for this way. So when will Liberals reverse policies that are objectively not working so that young people can get back to work?